Yes.
Talk about working on the last 5 minutes of games.
Really the last 3-4 minutes of the game, and it's, you know, it's something that we've had to do here every year I've been here, and really narrow into what you do and what you absolutely don't do. And we've got to be clear on it. So I think, again, I mentioned this, more organized offensively, because their instincts right now are for them, not us. Their instincts, so we got to be a little more organized. But there were things that we did that I said we're getting better, and there are other things that I watched the tape and I said we're not getting better. We reverted on some things, but it's a process.
Now, when you say more organized, does that mean you'll be orchestrating?
No, it's just that they have a better idea of a sequence of how we're playing. You don't score right away, what do? Well, I try to take it and score. No, here's what we do now. And if they stop that, what do we do now? Whether it's man or zone. And they, you know, there were a lot of things we thought, well, they'll know this. They don't. So we've been working on it some. And
now in the spring, Andrew said that he knew when he came down here, if you guys lost some games, a lot of heat was going to fall on him. He just said now some of that's happening, but he feels like he deserves it. How's he handling all that?
he's okay. It's just tough being a point guard for us and for me. My point guards, historically, it's the hardest position to play, and you know what's happened to not only Andrew, they have habits, basketball habits, that are bad, and they're hard to change. They don't respond to adversity real well, whether it's an official's call, whether it's a bad pass, whether it's they miss a shot. They're acting like they're 18 years old. Oh.
Is part of that they're not used to adversity?
No, I mean, some of this is something that we talked about from day one that they had to work on. You know, how they respond, and body language, and all those kind of things. And then the other thing you have going here is, again, you got to focus on how do I help my team get better? And it's something that we're still learning.
Cal, about this time last year, you said that group didn't hate to lose the way some of your previous teams have. Can you tell that these guys are bothered by losses?
They are, but they're making critical errors down the stretch. Well, in some cases, we shouldn't be in that position. So we can all talk about the last 3 minutes, but there may have been at the 7-minute mark, the 8-minute mark, where we're ready to go to 13-14, and the ball game's over, and we go back to, I'm going to do my thing. And all of a sudden, it's a turnover, missed shot, and now all of a sudden, it's 5. Now all of a sudden, the game changes. So we're doing a little bit of all that right now. We just, look, at the end of the day, and my message to them is simple today. You can't change how we started. I'm not changing. You can change how you approach the end, and that's how you'll be remembered. And we've made stride in practice, but you got to carry it over. You got to take the habits we're trying to create, understand you really got to focus. And you can't play as many minutes. You got to play less minutes. It means guys got to be ready to go in and out. The guys that are coming off the bench, you may not play as many minutes as you want because the guy's taking himself out and he's ready to go back. Just how it is right now. But this team, at the end of the day, has got to be a great defensive team. That's what we need to be, and we're not. And it starts pressure on them. But there's 5 or 6 things, and again, personnel, understanding that's got to be the best part of your game as an individual. Michael understood it because he didn't shoot the ball well. He knew. Well, I'm not making a name shooting jumpers. I'm making a name playing defense, rebound, and being vicious. And we have some guys here that they got to take that on. But it's harder to do that than to come down every 4th play and take a shot. That's easy. So if you make it, you can take 2 minutes off. Well, you can't play that way. I mean, we're in a dogfight every night we play.
What's the situation with Marcus Lee? I know he was sick one game. He went to the table, I think, a couple times.
I was going to put him in, but it wasn't fair. His back, the coaches say, Coach, don't do that to him. His back has been bothering him. His weight was down because he missed 2 or 3 days of practice, and I wanted to put him in, but then I'm just saying I can't do that to this kid in national television and hadn't practiced, and all of a sudden I'm saying go in the game. And that's why, I cut the better of myself, just said, don't do that to this young man. But he's fine.
Okay.
He's
Aaron
fine.
sort of hobbling through
Who?
a minute ago. Aaron Harris, is he okay?
He's been great. Aaron's been like yesterday's practice when it started going and we were winding it down, he stepped up. He has a edge to him that we need everybody to have.
Is there a sense of urgency now that you sense?
I always have a sense of urgency. I want him to be better right now, but it's going to be a process, and we all got to live with it, and me especially, that it's not always on my timetable or our fans or the media when the light will go on, but I have all the confidence in the world it will at some point. And then it's, keep saying our persistence versus their resistance. And just understand, I'm not changing. It's...
Do you feel them resisting you?
It's their habits. It's not like it's hard to change. And I'm going to tell you, what we asked them to do is really hard. It's easier to play the way they play. You're watching Texas last night, all you basketball bennies. What did they do? They raced up the court. Get it in, go, which is how we're trying to play. Not get it up and jog, not mess with the ball, loop and throw it ahead, or shoot a layup. And that's all they did. They defended and they tried and they threw some stuff at them. But that's what they did. They flew. Well, why aren't we flying? Because it's not their habit. Their habit is to jog it up and, okay, now I'm going to beat this guy. Well, we're just trying to get that. And it's going to take time, but I'll tell you what, when they get it, they'll be fine. But until then, it's, games are going to be struggling. I'm used to us being up 20 at half. Doesn't appear like that'll be this team. So we're going to be in dogfights every night.
Cal,
How much
your
is-
comment about you can't change how it's the beginning, but you can change your approach to the ending has a Churchillian flavor to it. What's the source of that? Where did you get that from?
Jerry, there's things pop in my mind. Most of this stuff is not stolen from anybody. I just wake up and I'm in the shower and Churchill comes to mind. And
Only you would put shower and Churchill in the same sentence.
That's right. But, I'm at any point, I'm trying to, look, the thing is, we have meetings and I talk to them prior to practice, post-practice. Why? I got to fill their minds more than the other stuff they're reading or hearing. The phone calls they get or make, they make the call where the person is going to tell them what they want to hear. You should be playing more. He shouldn't sub you. The other guy needs to be subbed, and you got to keep. Well, I got to overwhelm all those things. So I'm trying every day to give them a message, to get them to think. And, that'll be today's message and talk about what do you want this to become? And then what are you willing to do? And each guy. And that includes the bench. I had a friend of mine call me today and he says, your benches are usually really into it. They're jumping up and down and checking guys and all this. Your bench seems dead. And so we've been working on that. But for my friend to call me and say that, obviously, he watches and he knows my teams. So this team will make it when we do great defensive stops and you see them on a great defensive play coming together and chest bumping and hugging each other and going nuts and clapping. Until they get to that point, again, their emotion is all tied on how they're playing, not how we're playing, how they're playing. And that's part of what we do as coaches. We teams I've had, and again, like some guys are not playing as well as they will at the end of the year. Well, neither did Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis wasn't an impact offensively unless we threw him a lob or he blocked a shot and he defended a little bit if the guy wasn't real physical. But the offense came later, and that was like February, if you remember. We all have this vision of him when it was the end of the year and he's shooting right and left jump hooks. At the beginning of the year, we didn't throw him the ball. Had no strength, had no base, had no game in there. So we just got to go, and we're coaching them, and, we're going to have time here over the next 3 weeks to give them some time off for Christmas, but other than that, And again, let me tell you, Belmont, they've dropped a couple because couple kids got hurt. Beat North Carolina. We're up 10 or 11 at halftime. Rick Bird's one of the great coaches in our country. He's one of the great ones you don't know about. What he's done at Belmont to take that program from where it is, it's never been done. And then to have success everywhere he's taken the program. Never been done before. And he's been through the wars. He's played all the great teams. He's not coming in here, and his team won't come in here thinking anything less than let's try to beat these guys.
Calvin, you talk about using your bench. Is Willis a viable option?
Yeah, and we need to get him in. He's another guy. We got to see if we play him as a stretch 4 where he can shoot jumpers. We got some things here we got to try. And he's got to compete in practice and do it. He's been great here the last couple practices. I'll tell you who's been off the chain has been Alex. Alex was as good as I've ever seen him anywhere at any time yesterday's practice, because not only did he play, he sustained. Normally he makes one play and then for the next 3 minutes I'm done, but he's always been that way. Now, and that's been the hard thing for him. And so yesterday's practice was like he went from good to really good to great yesterday. And he just, I was like amazed. So hopefully he's starting to get it a little bit.
Can you talk about the pace stuff? How much is or should that be a point guard?
It's the point guard, but let me say this. Our wings aren't sprinting either. Julius isn't sprinting. All McAdoo did to him, sprint. When I say McAdoo did this, McAdoo made 2 jump shots and missed a ton of free throws, but he ran. Now, that's not too much to ask, and that's where we're trying to get to. Doesn't mean you run and take a crazy shot. It doesn't mean, it may not be there, but run to explore. Again, it's not their habit. And so, we're just trying to zero in on some things that we need to do. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I just cue the lead time. They wrap it up and like done.
I think they're
The lights were on a timer too.
Thank you.
Stand up. Yes, sir. Okay. I guess we're doing them outside, dude.
Which I do on top more here.
Let's start with the help.